Good evening, welcome to Cafdil Healthcare live here on Cafdil TV. Today we are discussing a topic that is related to our mothers, our sisters, our aunties, our wives, and even our girlfriends. A topic that is closely related to these women, menstruation. But then we are going to take a deeper dive into it by discussing the abnormalities in menstruation. My name is Shadrach Samuel Adenu, and I'm sitting in for Mr. Ron Kojo Atta, who is in this post. You can also join us live on our Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast, and then on YouTube, Cafdil EDU. Make sure you share the link, like the page, share it to any of your close contacts, and then let them also learn. But before I introduce my guest for today, let's go for this quick break. When we come back, I will introduce them.
Since time immemorial, God has always communicated himself and his will through various voices, the prophets, the kings, the judges, not forgetting John the Baptist, who was a precursor to Jesus Christ and gave us the will of God. We bring to you Voices from the Valley. This is a program designed by the Conventual Franciscan Friars in Ghana in collaboration with Cafdil TV to bring you in-depth insight in our faith, catechesis, and various Catholic teachings which will help you in your journey as a pilgrim. I know you cannot miss this program, and I highly encourage you that you shouldn't miss this program because it is Voices of God from the valley of prayer and silence. Join us this and every Sunday at 3 p.m. and a repeat on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. here on Cafdil TV and on our various social media platforms, YouTube, Cafdil EDU, and Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast. Let us meet and share what God has for us through the Voices from the Valley. Of your peace.
If you just tuned in, this is Cafdil TV and you are watching Cafdil Healthcare here on Cafdil. Today we are discussing abnormalities in menstruation. To help us understand this topic, I have two professionals here with me in our studios. They are in the presence of Dr. Sarah Ishan, who is the senior officer from the University of Cape Coast Hospital, and then Mr. Nicholas Bedu, principal nursing officer also from the University of Cape Coast Hospital. Doctor and nurse, you are most welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you are all doing good.
Yes. We are fine.
Great. Okay, so doctor, for somebody who is now getting to hear of this topic, abnormalities in menstruation, what can you share with us on the topic?
Okay, so when one hears abnormalities with the menstrual cycle, there are so many things that goes on in the menstrual cycle. From the time the egg or the ovum is released to the time it comes out, all constitutes things that make up the menstrual cycle. So any irregularities between that time till you see your menses or it ends up in a pregnancy, you can have abnormalities at any of these stages.
What are some of the abnormalities that women mostly experience?
Okay, so there are several types. But for instance, when we look at the menstrual cycle, we have, in respect to the blood flow, so we have different types. So you can have either you're experiencing it more often in a month, or it's not coming enough within a month, or there's going to be pain during menses, there's going to be a lot of blood loss. So there can be different parameters that can go wrong when it comes to the menstrual cycle.
Mr. Beatty? Yes, would you want to add anything to what the doctor just
said? Just as Dr. Sarah has enumerated, once it's out of normal, that's where the abnormalities come. Normally, like she rightly put it, it has a specific number of days that it has to end. There's some consistency of how the blood should flow and some amount of pain that should come with it. So if flow goes beyond the usual times, and of course it becomes abnormal a bit. If the consistency doesn't also meet up what we've been learning or what we know to be normal, then of course. And if the pain threshold is also beyond a certain limit, normally when you come to our facility, we'll grade you with the pain. So 1 to 10. So if it goes certain number of, certain number, yeah, and then of course you are out of the normal range a bit.
Do you have a yardstick or anything, any instrument for measuring this kind of pain?
Okay, so we say pain is relative to the patient. So you are the one experiencing your pain. So what you tell us is what we take. So we scale you from 1 to 10. 10 is the highest. So anything above 5, maybe say from 6 upwards, and of course the pain threshold is too much for the patient. It actually also helps us to know the kind of medication to be given to you at that particular time. If your pain score is 2 over 10, then of course we just have to psych you up a bit, let you understand that it's normal in this way, and then we allow you to go. But anything beyond that, from 6 upwards, then of course we need to intervene, and intervene very well for the patient.
So doctor, at what point should someone seek intervention with the pain Mr. Bede was talking about?
Okay, so in addition to what he said about the pain, we also have another system, and that one is more subjective to the patient. So in terms of your physical functions or how well you can go about your normal daily activities, we grade the pain. So if you are able to function with mild pain, or with, let's say, pain that it's a bit okay with you, then we say it's mild. If you are able to function, let's say probably you are working, for instance, but you can work, but then you feel the discomfort, then we can say it's moderate. But then if it's severe, meaning you can't even sit down, you can't type, you can't write, then that is a severe form of pain with respect to your daily function. So usually if you are someone who takes painkillers often, whenever they have their menstrual cycle, you should seek intervention from us. If you are somebody who can't do anything, especially becomes bedridden when it comes to their menstrual cycle, they should also come. If you are bleeding too often, or let's say you pass the normal regular days of about 7 days in a week, or the normal 7 days, if you have more menstrual, you're still menstruating after 7 days, then you should also come and seek medical attention.
Well, we have people who go beyond the usual 7 days.
We see a lot of people coming in with
that's an abnormality.
Yes, that's an abnormality.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how about somebody who bleeds for, let's say, 2 to 3 days and then it stops?
Does it come again? So that's the question.
Okay, so there are people that experience it within 1 to 3 days, and then goes off, and then comes back again.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. So periods are supposed to be natural thing for women, right? So how is it that other people experience more pain than others? Is it close to genetics, or I just don't know?
Okay.
How can you put it?
Thank you, Nicole. You take it then. I come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. But we are all, we are all the same under the same species, but we have different DNA or genetics that makes me different from you. Whatever. Sometimes some things are painful. I don't feel the pain, but you might feel the pain. Yes. So it's true. As much as menstruation is a normal period of time, which is natural with every woman, some really experience it in a different way altogether. There are others whose hormones can fluctuate, and that could affect your menstrual cycle, its flows, the pain threshold, and all that we have aforementioned. There are your physical appearance too can also make a contribution to whether you are too fat, too slim, or in between. They are all contributing factors. Your diet is also very important. People forget about that. We need to eat very well. You can't give what you don't have. Okay, So if you're not eating that, you don't expect much. You have to eat very well to make sure that you get, more energy. And also you have to hydrate very well. Majority part of our body constitutes water. So we need to also hydrate to avoid dehydration and all that. Yes, so there are parameters and there are differentials that makes up people, have this, some of this is apart from if it's medically, you have a medical condition. I know Doc will talk more about that. There are medical conditions also that could also affect you, during your menstrual cycle, but that will be diagnosed when you come to our facility, and they will put you to the proper perspective.
Doc, can these abnormalities be, let's say, hereditary? As in, can you inherit it from your mom? In case your mom is someone who has menstrual cramps a lot, bleeds a lot, as a lady, is it possible that you can also inherit it?
Okay, so currently, I've not really come across any literature that says it's hereditary. But then again, looking at how human beings we are, you'd realize that a lot of us tend to pick up things from our parents or even our environments that we find ourselves in. And as you mentioned about the pain threshold, your pain threshold might be different from mine, even with the same stimulus when it's applied to a person. So yes, we can say that there is a genetic linkage. Also, normally for most women, the causes or some of the causes of the irregular or abnormal menstrual cycles or periods that they experience can be also genetic, and they might also have some conditions that just springs up, and we call them sporadic conditions too. So you can also have that being genetic or a sporadic form. Probably your mom will never have it, but probably you will then have it. So then it becomes a sporadic or a spontaneous form of menstrual issue that we pick up. Yeah.
Okay. Can the too much bleeding be a sign that there is something wrong with the person's body?
Absolutely. So usually the normal is that you're supposed to bleed for about 2 to 7 days. I've experienced some people who have menses for 2 days, and that's fine. Some people too.
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked.
Yes, we have people who experience like 2 days. It's normal, and then some people go to the 7 days. Now, when it comes to the amount of blood loss, let's say between 30 to 50 mils is normal for a regular period cycle. If you have, and 30 to 40 mils is, let's say, it's even less than, let's say, a quarter of a sachet water. So if you have something, you are bleeding more than that, you should be alarmed. And those things can also point out to a lot of gynecological issues. So you can have something we call polycystic ovarian syndrome. You can also have endometriosis. Can also have fibroids. So some people have those things coexisting with their cycle and then ends up having issues with them.
Can you just see a lady and then can you predict that this person has abnormalities?
Oh, okay. So it would depend. So for instance, something like polycystic ovarian syndrome, there are some external features that you can see on a person, and then you can be like, okay, I think you might have menstrual irregularities. So apart from maybe you just come to the hospital and they are coming in for something else, you can just chip in, oh, have you done this scan? Have you done this before? Do you experience these things? And then you can pick it up. So for polycystic ovarian syndrome, for instance, you realize that there are some women who have facial hair.
Okay.
Yes, if you've noticed that it's not, some of them is genetic, but most of them.
Oh, it's basically based on genetics.
Yes.
But as growing up, there are so many things they attributed to them.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
so these are some of the issues why women have these abnormalities and they shy from them. As you've even said, they don't really come out to even talk about it. Because I'm sure you do have a sister.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm sure when she said the menses and started talking about cramps, you're like, what's all with these women? What's at all? It's just 1 month. Exactly. So that's what happens to women.
Sabedu, would you like to touch on it?
Yeah, of course. Just as Doc has enumerated, it's a very broad, and a lot of women go through all these things. He has mentioned PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Some of the features, you see that masculine nature of some of these women are building muscles like men, all indicative that, and maybe in koye kakra. So we should look into it. So once you saw the person, you may want to have a conversation with that fellow, kindly, and then you see where, you can give help to. You can direct them to the obs and gynae specialists, who would, subject them to very hormonal, analysis, just to find out which of the hormones are dominant than the other. And then, of course, there are a lot of medications that once you come to a facility or any other health facility where we recognize our facility, they'll be able to handle you from there. Yes, so physically you can see other people and you could easily tell that it's most likely that you have this or that. Yeah. So
I will be right to say that the too much bleeding can also make them anemic, right? Of course, we have a saying that too much of everything is bad. So the bad aspect is also becoming anemic, and blood is more or less our petrol in our system that helps us to go. So if you are becoming anemic, very soon dizziness will set in, fainting will set in. So the usual thing we say, we have collapse. The collapse also will set in, and then before you come, for us, when you come, you look at your conjunctiva that is under your eye, just to see the amount of blood sitting. If it's very pale, we'll know that, this one, we can quantify that, this one is going to have about certain number of blood. We can easily figure out and get you one.
And it's not magic.
Maybe it's something you've been doing over the years, so
yes.
You can easily predict.
Yes. Before you realize, then it's what we are saying. So yes, anemia is one of those high symptoms that one can have if you bleed too much.
So in this case, what can the person do to at least increase the blood count once the person hasn't been able to come to your facility? I think there are some things maybe the person can do in their homes to help them when they have these kinds of symptoms.
Yes, I remember back in school, not even in tertiary, but right from primary to secondary, we're taught balanced diet. So balanced diet is key, and it runs through our life, irrespective where you find yourself. So everybody must eat a good balanced diet. And I prefix it good.
Okay.
Not every balanced diet is balanced. So
now most people classify junk foods as balanced.
Exactly. That's why I brought it good there. Okay. So they know what you are consuming is good or bad. You can have all the sophisticated thing on your table, but it might not be good for your health.
So on your plate, as in you are looking at something good. What are some of the components that should be on your plate?
The dietitian will tell us some form of an amount of protein, a certain number of protein that should be there, certain number of carbohydrate that should be there also. But let me chip in with respect also the kind of condition you are also going through. And normally on Tuesdays we run diabetic clinic, and then they have some of these things well calculated for them. How much of protein you can take, how much of fat, carbohydrate you can take as well. But a normal human being, when you are a lady or you are a male, 26, you are growing to become more of an adult. Why not? Enough protein is fine. Enough carbohydrate is fine. I don't have the spectacles to give you that amount. But I think when something is enough, you know that this is enough. At least you are eating and there are 2 strong fish on your table. It's enough. 1 fat chicken on your table is enough. And with a glass of water by your side, enough of the leaves. It's good also. When you get your wachi, buy more of the leaves than more of the rice. Some of us want to just fill our tummy, so we want more of the rice to come in. So a good balanced diet will help you increase. One of the things I would discourage also, women often, or those class of people often sit home and listen to other information before they move.
Okay.
People would deceive you, go and pluck these leaves, boil these leaves, sieve it, drink it for 3 days, 7 days. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, my granddaughter used to have that. I give it. Before you realize other organs are being affected, and you are rushed in not only being anemic, but destroying other, associated organs too. So just come to our facility and then we'll help you.
So doctor, would it be okay for somebody going through this kind condition, right, to, let's say, go to the pharmacy and see a pharmacist and then talk to them, since it is related with blood? Is it going to be a good idea for the person to maybe go get some supplements to help them?
Okay, so usually with anemia, we have different types of anemia, and then the corresponding values attached to them. So usually if it's something that is, for women, our HB is supposed to be about 12. So anything between 11 to 10 is something we call mild. So with that one, we start with your diet modification. So with that, we would tell you to take in more of your green leafy vegetables. Now, I've seen a lot of people taking this turkey berries or cantose. I don't know the tree name. What do you mean?
Well, in front of your friend, then ananantroba.
Yes, yes. So you can get that one. A lot of people say it works for them. So you can parboil it. So that is, you boil water in a pot for about 5 minutes. Let it boil. You see the bubbles, make it bubble. Then you just put in the turkey berries. Then you just remove it within 2 minutes. You don't boil it with it. You just, it's kind of like parboiling. That's the name for it. Then you blend it. So you can blend it with either pineapple or orange, because those things also produce vitamin C, and then they help with the absorption of the iron in your diet to help you build more blood. So with that one, so with anemia, for instance, when it comes to like a mild one, we encourage you to take in your dietary supplements. So green leafy vegetables, your contemporary is there, your cucumber is there, your lettuce. It should be more. So especially when women are in their cycle, we encourage them to take more of these things. So once you take them, your HB is supposed to at least boost back. And then also, in addition, regular intake of folic acid.
Yeah.
Apart from it,
how often are they supposed to take that?
As often as possible.
Every day?
Every day. So folic acid is kind of like a supplement. So 1 tablet a day, whether you take it at night, morning, afternoon, just take 1 tablet a day. Apart from helping with building up of your blood, it also helps you when you are preparing for pregnancy. It prevents other defects that can occur due to folic acid deficiency.
Now that we are talking about folic acid, what is the difference between folic acid, blood tonic, and then multivitamin? Because most people confuse it.
Okay. So multivitamin, as the name comes about, is multiple vitamins.
Okay.
So it doesn't just contain folic acid per se. There are some multivitamins that contain folic acid, some too don't, and some contain minimal amounts of that. So with the multivitamin, we have things like vitamin soluble, fat soluble, water soluble vitamins. You also have some essential vitamins that we don't really get in our diets enough in our diet, or a lot of people don't eat it enough, so they don't get it. So multivitamin comes as a group of, it's not really specific. Then the folic acid is a specific supplement, so folic acid, just taking that one. And then the blood tonic contains iron, contains some multivitamins, and then contains sometimes folic acid. So you have to always watch the type of blood tonic you are taking.
I think that would be the job of a pharmacist.
Yes, exactly. Or even you, the person buying, because you know, once you are aware of these things and you get to know that, okay, I'm actually going in for my blood, I want my blood level to increase, then you know that, okay, you are taking your multivitamins, or you are taking your blood tonic. And then also, in addition to the anemia, so apart from the mild, the moderate and the severe ones, we can supplement with the hematinics, which is the blood tonic. We have different types, and then sometimes if it's very, very bad, then we want to give you blood itself, or a component of the blood, depending on where you come from.
Okay. Mr. Nicholas, what does a healthy period look like?
That one is supposed to go to a doctor. I'm laughing because the woman watching.
How is the man?
I intentionally threw the question to you, so
of course.
So once you touch on it, and then the doctor will give us more.
Ideally, it's supposed to be bright red. Okay. A very, I don't want to polish. Doctor, I know doctor will polish it for me. Otherwise, somebody will charge me that have you been bleeding?
No, but with your experience and then your field, probably you see a lot.
It's supposed to be bright red, not too, not too dark. You know, there are some bleeds when you see when you are anemic, and like I said, we look at the conjunctiva. So when it's pale, the kind of blood that comes, you see when you even take the blood sample, you realize that the blood is not too. What do you call it? It's not too thick. If it's shaky a bit, so watery. Once you look at that nature, we could be able to tell how much you're going to get when the result comes back to us. Yes. So normally we use the word bright red. because that's the hemoglobin color.
Would the color in your dress, the red color, be closer to, or is supposed to be just like this?
Quite close, but
okay.
Of a bit
reddish
darker,
brown.
It's not that too shine, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, Doc.
Yeah, so I think we mentioned it earlier that so the period length is between 3 to 7 days.
Okay.
The amount of blood should be between 30 mils to 50 mils. Anything more than that, you should be worried. And then the color can be very bright or it can be dark, even as dark as the color I'm wearing. So it's all normal. So I've had complaints of people coming. They're like, my blood used to be red, now it's dark. I feel like no, it's normal. But then you should be worried if you should see clots inside. Once you start seeing a lot of clots in your menstrual cycle, and the clot, it shouldn't be bigger than, let's say, a 50 peso coin. If you should see something more than that, yes, then you should be alarmed, and quite frequently you should be alarmed. Yeah,
I see. So at what point should a girl's first period be alarming?
The question again.
At what point should a girl's first period, be a red flag instead of a celebration?
Okay,
that's for doctor also.
Usually that term is called, the first period I see is called menarche.
Okay.
Yes, so menarche, if you have a less than 10 years, it should be alarming. And then for now, looking at the statistics, if it's more than 16 years, it should be alarming and should be worried about it.
Now, I even heard ladies as early as 13 have already started.
Yes,
some 12.
And right now it's normal. Yeah. So between the ages of 10 to 16, a lady should have started her menstrual cycle.
Is it because the world is changing?
Yes, the world is changing, our diet is changing, genetics, there are lots of mutations ongoing. So
I see. Okay, so we're talking about clothing, blood clothing.
Yeah.
So you said if it is bigger than a 50 peso coin, then that means it's something you should
significant.
signify that you need to do something about it.
Yes.
So let's say this person has seen something like that, and then maybe in the next month, the person sees a bigger one than that.
Yes. So I'd advise that you come.
Yeah.
There are some in non-invasive tests we can do to see what is actually going on. So probably you can come and you do an ultrasound of your pelvis or your abdomen. It will tell us if there are other things ongoing. Or sometimes you might even pass something we call the speculum and see what's actually going on there, what is causing you to clot that much. Because the more you clot, that means there's active blood loss ongoing and your body is trying to stop that from happening. That's how come the clots become bigger. And for some women who have fibroids, it's one of the symptoms that they experience a lot during their menses.
Mr. Bedu, talking about stress, right? Can stress also be one of the things that would make somebody either skip their menstrual cycle or not even experience it at all in a particular month?
Yeah. So the body also responds to external factors, if you want, shocks and other things, so plays a role. So of course the mood that you find yourself in, whether being happy or being sad, also had a significant contribution. The news that you hear, whether being good news or bad news, can also affect. We've watched some movies, even though some movies are not to be taken serious.
But there are lessons to be
there are
from
few lessons that we can learn. When a woman hears a very bad news, is pregnant and all of a sudden the person is miscarriage, or any other, you see blood coming, or if there's an accident and then the car is able to swerve the situation, then of course some will get down and then see. So yes, at times there are external factors that also contribute to enough. Stress is one of those that can also, extreme one, not the normal stress that everybody goes through stress, which is normal with our lives, but the one that really affects you most, the extreme ones, can trigger some of these things in your life, and that could also bring about something.
How about somebody who's also trying to, let's say, lose some weight? You see, now people are taking in a lot of things that is making their body go through changes that they are not supposed to. So somebody trying to go through weight loss, that can also cause, right?
Yeah, people, in weight loss, people, try to use certain medications, be it external or internal. So all these things, it goes to the body. The body has to process it for you. And especially that you don't even know the chemical, reaction that is going to give to the body. So yes, those going through some of these things can also experience some of these abnormalities and all that.
Doc, I know of one lady, when it's time for her flu, right? She can't do anything. She will just be bedridden. She can't go out. All she does is stay indoors till the 7 days is over, and then she can get back to work. I know another one that's during those periods, she would, like you said, she would pass out. How is that possible? Is it something that can be treated, or we can't?
Okay, so it's possible because one key thing that is very important with our menstrual cycle is our hormones. Our hormones play a very vital role. Now, even with the hormones, we have to produce them. And by production, we have to take some amount of fat, some amount of vitamins that is needed for them to even be metabolized. So that's how come we mentioned that a good diet is important. Now, looking at somebody who wants to even slim down and all that, they might be skipping some meals, might be skipping some vital nutrients that the body needs. So all these things play a role with the hormonal imbalance. Now, once the hormones are imbalanced or they are having issues, you're not going to get the desired result that you need. So you're either going to have more pain or less pain. So I think even for most of our ladies, you realize that it's not every month comes with its own pain in a way. Sometimes you can be free, sometimes you have pain, sometimes it's very severe. So depending on your hormonal balance at that time, a lot of irregularities go on, especially with the stress, with your diet, with your exercising, if you are bedridden and all that. And depending on, so your friend, for instance, the one who is bedridden, then she needs to come and see us. We can put her on some medications that would help her with the pain, and then we can also put her on some exercise plans or just for stretching. There are some things that release, our bodies have a way of calming us down. Yes, so there are specific ways to do that, and then also she'll be better with time. And once, sometimes too, the pain too is a bit of a psychological pain because they are used to so much pain, and it's like everything becomes dark and dull. Hormones are high, some hormones come low. It just disrupts the whole mood of some females that have these issues.
Okay. Mr. Nicholas, will you
so rightly so. Sometimes even common exercises, pelvic floor muscle exercises could be introduced so that you can do them to alleviate some of these pain. That not every pain that will subject you to getting some analgesics or some pain relievers so that you can go off. Sometimes even drinking a lot of water and sleeping for a short period of time can also help you alleviate. Sometimes you can divert your attention by coming out to take fresh air or trying to watch television. Your attention will be drawn to whatever discussion is ongoing, and so you will not be even concentrating on the pain. By the time it's evening, you are okay. So there are other things that we can also do, not necessarily trying to catch up with some pain relievers.
All right. So if you just tuned in, you are watching Cafdil Healthcare, and we are discussing abnormalities in menstruation. We'll go for this quick break. When we come back, I'll ask Doctor, is it possible that these abnormalities can cause mental disorder?
Since time immemorial, God has always communicated himself and his will through various voices: the prophets, the kings, the judges, not forgetting John the Baptist, who was a precursor to Jesus Christ and gave us the will of God. We bring to you Voices from the Valley, This is a program designed by the Conventual Franciscan Friars in Ghana in collaboration with Cafdil TV to bring you in-depth insight in our faith, catechesis, and various Catholic teachings which will help you in your journey as a pilgrim. I know you cannot miss this program, and I highly encourage you that you shouldn't miss this program because it is Voices of God from the valley of prayer and silence. Join us this and every Sunday at 3 p.m. and a repeat on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. here on Cafdil TV and on our various social media platforms, YouTube, Cafdil EDU, and Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast. Let us meet and share what God has for us through the voices from the valley.
Make me a means of your peace.
Welcome back from that break. If you just tuned in, we are discussing abnormalities in menstruation. Dr. Sarah Ishen has shared a lot with us. Mr. Nicholas also had shared a lot with us. But then, before I went for that break, I said I was going to ask her if mental or the abnormalities in menstruation can cause mental disorders in a lady. Okay, doctor.
Yes, it can. Some mental disorders like depression are very real. In the case of especially your friend that is mostly bedridden, you can realize that she has a lot of mood swings. She's in constant pain. She's going to be feeling like the world, why only her? Because other women are walking about. These are things that when they go on for a very long time can affect your mental state. And all these things are tied to our hormones. So once we are able to get the hormonal balance working very well, then all these symptoms might resolve. But for the most important thing is that we should treat the pain and then get them to go on with their normal daily activities, and these things can go away. Yeah.
Whilst I was reading, I saw they say you can use this vacuum flask or something, most of them. And then I saw another thing now people use, and then I think it's a
hot water bottle.
Yes,
Hot water bottle,
the hot water bottle. And then now there's
the teddy bear, or there's
I don't know, is it a teddy bear? I saw something.
Yes,
Well,
heat warming pad.
Women, how effective is that?
Oh, it's very effective. So let's take an example like this. So sometimes when you have like a sprain on your ankle,
Yeah.
you sometimes put in what's cold water, and then usually you apply with deep heat
or any hot ointment.
Yes. So you realize that once you apply something hot or cold, it triggers your mechanical system, your nervous system that no, focus on this thing rather and forget about the pain. So that's how it works also for women.
Okay. Yeah. So it just helps you transition your mind from one place to another.
So it's a way of tricking your brain. Let me put it that way.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how come most of your painkillers, or let's say if you take some medication, the ones that smell very weird, you think it's working. And then the ones that burn you, you think it's working. Yes. It's a way, that's a way to trick the body. So most pharmaceuticals have added that to their regimens.
How about the hot water
the
pad?
Same,
And that's also does the same thing.
The same physiology.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk about childbirth. I heard someone saying that once the lady gives birth, the disorder vanishes. How true is that?
Okay, so usually it's true and then it's false. There are some conditions that once you get pregnant and then you deliver, it alters how the whole thing goes about. So something like fibroids, for instance. Fibroids can either shrink, they can get bigger, or they might even just die off. So during pregnancy, there's a lot of hormonal imbalances going on. Especially some hormones get so high, some get so low, and these fibroids, they actually depend on these hormones to grow. So you realize that some people would get pregnant and then the fibroid has disappeared.
Okay.
Or some people would get pregnant and the fibroid gets bigger. So these are all hormonal imbalances. So yes, there might be some women that would experience this relief after pregnancy, but most of the time it comes back again. Even some people who have endometriosis, sometimes they feel better after pregnancy, then with some time it comes back. So it's a kind of a yes and a no, depending on you and let me say your luck. Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nicholas.
Yes, so I was just going to say that it's individual differences. If you are lucky and then you are no more experiencing them, then fine. If you are still some have experienced it even at the age of 60, and then eventually we culminate it and say, oh, it's this term we use of when you catch 45 is
postmenopause.
Menopause, yes. So you have entered your menopause, so take it like that. You know, this menopause has some symptoms. Even some people at 60, they've never experienced anything. They are still doing their normal life, and either they've stopped bleeding or they are still bleeding. I have a chorister who talked to me at 50 plus. She's still menstruating.
Wow.
And she's worried about it. But it doesn't put her in a bad situation. Just that she's having a normal menses. Like
is that not an abnormality?
That's what
it is, or it might not be, depending on the time she started having her menses. That's a menarche.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then some women who are genetically predisposed to have a longer reproductive cycle.
So the earlier you start, the
earlier
you finish early.
Finish early.
Then if you don't start early, then you finish late.
Yes. So it's all about luck. If you find yourself in that category, then you take it like that. Don't beat yourself so much. You just have to understand that I am different from this person, and I'm going to act according to how my body responds to things. If you're able to psych yourself and get that understanding, you wouldn't be so much worried and get those depressive attitude and all that.
Can a person's lifestyle contribute to that?
Yes.
We talked about it, your lifestyle. So Sarah made mention of the fact that if you want to slim down and you're not eating well, you lose certain nutrients within the food. So when I'm getting the full nutrients, you are not getting the full nutrients. But the aspect of food, when we eat, it makes our muscles swell up a bit, and that's why I say why you casio, why you fine. Instead of one person we are fine. So once you don't eat that portion of meal, and I'm eating that portion of meal, of course, nutrient wise you won't get it, but I will get it. So definitely it's going to have effect. If you are taking a certain medications and I am not taking it, of course to affect you, I wouldn't have any effect. You know, every drug has a side effect. So once you go through a side effect and that affects your menses or whatever situation you find yourself, then of course I don't get it from there.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the mistakes parents make during menstruation when their girl child starts.
Okay. I think some of the parents themselves, they are scared at a point because Bible says that lack of knowledge, my people perish.
How are they scared? Because you've gone through the process yourself. Let's say you started maybe, let's say when you were 15. Now you are somewhere 30, 50, thereabouts, and then you are scared.
Yes, so if you are not educated, for instance, if by the time such a parent, when she was 15 or 14, she started menstruating, the mother had no idea about it. And so she couldn't give the best of education, hygiene wise, and all that comes with it. And then mostly they dwell on, when we say, that's how the whole thing starts. Now they are thinking about you protecting not to get pregnant rather than to educate you on how you should adapt to the changes that has come with you. As a woman, you are now going through this. So when it comes every month, this will happen to you. This is how you flow. You'll get some pains. And so I'll buy you pad. You know, those days you knew what you were using. So these are the things that you should walk the child through. Get more understanding. Of course, today we are blessed that schools have begun teaching all these things. So even when a parent doesn't teach a child, the school will help teach the child. And so they definitely have more knowledge sometimes, even much more than, but just by way of experience, then the mother would outweigh the child as well. So I don't think there should be any much fear for the upcoming child. You know, mother have to stay calm and let the child know that it's just a natural process that you are going through. However, this is how it's going to end you if you should not do this or that, and that will help.
Okay, doctor, let's take us through what are some of the things that a parent needs to teach, let's say, their 13-year-old daughter who is now starting their menstruation. So what are some of the steps? What are some of the things that they can do or the preparation to help them get through it safely?
Okay, so for parents, I think the first thing, especially with adolescents or teenage girls, is to get close to them.
Okay.
So try as much as possible to know what's going on in their life, get close to them. That helps build a relationship. Now, when they are menstruating, you'd have to talk to them about this hygiene, their diet,
Okay.
things to refrain from, and also to not to be stigmatized, because I think I remember when I was in, I think, class 3, class 4, then we had one of my mates menstruating, and now everybody was just looking at her weirdly. Boys didn't want to sit by her, and there's this whole stigma attached to that. So you have to like let them get to understand that it's a natural thing for women, and this kind of like introduces them or initiates them into a period of reproductive cycle for women, and it's something that they should be calm about. It's normal for every woman. If they feel pain that they cannot bear the pain, they should let you know. You would take them to the hospital or you get them something for the pain. And also about hygiene, bathing at least twice a day, changing your pad at least twice a day, depending on how much. You know, there are some women that they start their menses heavy flow, then as the days are going, it calms down. Some too is quite heavy throughout. So the number of times they might change the pad might be different from you that experiences a light flow. And then now we have different types of pads available. I think for Ghana, we have like, most of us normally use the pads. We don't use the tampons, we don't use the menstrual cups, we don't use the menstrual panties. There are so many ranges. So let's say if the person is not Ghanaian and finds themselves in that environment, you can help the child to pick out the types that is adjustable to them, the ones that they like. There are some people that would like the tampons to the pads, some people would want the cervical cup. So these are some of the things that you can sit your child through and then talk them through. Oh, what do you like? Do you like this? This is how to care for this. If you're using the menstrual cup, there's a way to care for it. If you're using the pad, there's a way to care and there's a way to dispose it. So some people only use it, but then they don't dispose it well. Some people put it in the WBC, which is a wrong thing to do. The ideal thing is to wrap it, after maybe wrap it in a paper, wrap it in something, and then maybe tie it in a rubber, and then dispose it off in the bin. Now, if you are at a place or a health facility, then that is going to be put into the incinerator.
Okay.
So usually you'd realize that most female schools have incinerators there. This is to actually dispose these things off very well. And remember, the Sakwa boys are waiting.
I was about to say that. How safe is it for you after doing all this and then you have to dispose it in your dustbin? Now you have people who collect your dustbin and then they send them to the refuse now. How safe?
How safe? We can say we are safe because we mixed up with a lot of rubbish, unless they are literally like looking out for it. But the ideal thing would have been to incinerate it, that is burn it, or just probably bury it. That's the good thing that you should do about it. Yeah. But remember, no WC, no flashing it in the toilet or in the urinal or running away from it.
I see.
It's normal.
Mr. Nicholas?
Yes. It's a big challenge when it comes to the young ones growing up and realizing all these things. The stigma is real. Boys when we are in school.
I think we all need desensitization on this. In the schools. I think they should have, let's say, build a curriculum around it where we I think those days they used to teach some of these things.
The boys
but now,
should make a lot of fun about it. And we must draw their attention to understand, beat the drum very hard, so that they will understand that it's just a natural process. Just as those who have this heavy voice and they start to build
muscles and then
around.
stuff.
It shows you that this is part of you. I know the teachers will teach, but we have to drum home more and more so that the stigma will minimize. Yeah,
I think
just
charity begins at home.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. So if Mother Two is equipped to have a lot of knowledge, and if you are probably having a brother in the house too, of course, Mother will start to introduce
them to
understand your sister is this, that we should bring them to the picture.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be only talking to the girl because it's a girl's matter.
Yeah.
Okay, the boys too at that age must be aware because they will chance on it. And know that my sister has
married.
been putting and then you don't go and ask their mother, you go and ask their fellow for Charlie. I've seen that my sister has been put. What do you think?
Or she's just bleeding, she's dying, then they are just hysterical, crying and embarrassing the girl the more.
Now the world is moving at a faster pace, and all of us must get even fathers, we should be able to talk to. Fathers must be able to draw their words, especially the girl child, closer and let them understand this is normal. Once your father is aware, they don't feel shy about it. They can easily talk about it. With a lot of education from both parents, stakeholders, those who matter most, must also bring this to bear so that the girls will understand that, after all, it just means that I'm growing and I'm in my reproductive stage. So this is how I have to conduct myself. Right. And if you do that, and I'm glad that there's incinerators all over the schools. So now we're able to keep them at a closer and not to expose them and become spiritually wild people. Chance on them.
Good. Okay, so our time is fast spent, and then this is where time will permit us. But then your final words to, let's say, a girl watching you and then now going through, or any woman who is going through these abnormalities when it comes to their menstruation.
Okay, so I'd like to tell you that it's safe. Menstruation is a normal thing. You don't have any problem. If you are feeling pain or you feel like there's something wrong with you, because it's your body, we cannot tell you, just come quickly to the hospital and then let's help you. Don't be shy about it. If anybody discriminates against you because you are menstruating, just take it cool and then just encourage yourself. If you are somebody who is bedridden, always make sure that you have good friends around you who can help you. You can take your medications and everything will be fine.
Okay.
And remember, personal hygiene
is key.
It's key.
Yeah. Mr. Nicholas, your final words.
Yes. Our final words would be that keep it cool. Don't frighten your own self. First of all, understand that it is normal. To those who have already who have had it, they are menarche, and then they are growing into it. They should have a tracker. I know a lot of ladies now have phones to track. It's a good sign that you are studying yourself. So continue to track your own pattern, so that when the changes easily come, you may be able to know that this one, it has changed. And most of them don't even know I'm 28-day cycle. Know your cycle, so that you know that, with my cycle, this is how it's supposed to be. And you don't beat yourself so much. If it's beyond you, of course, your parents are there. If you can't, quote and unquote, trust your parents because of shyness, why not? Come to our facility. Our facility is, youth friendly, very friendly. We have able doctors, able nurses. The RCH, Reproductive Child Health Clinic, they are doing fantastic. They will shield you, they will protect you. You even know that you have come to the hospital, just that you came to visit a friend and you are living smoothly. So our arms are open. Please come, don't shy away, and we'll do our best for you.
All right. On this note, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Sarah Ishan, Senior House Officer from the University of Cape Coast Hospital, and then Mr. Nicholas Bedu, a Principal Nursing Officer, also from University of Cape Coast. This is where time will permit us to bring down the curtains for today's edition of Cafdil Healthcare. We spoke about abnormalities in menstruation. We've learned a lot, so make sure you share this video with a friend, a sister, wife, girlfriend, aunties, any female that you know around you. Make sure you share with them. My name is Shadrach Samuel Adenu, and then this is where we end our edition for today. Bye for now.
your door.